Hi everybody, and welcome to the final segment of the Lotus Guru. This is covering from 2018 to 2020 when sadly I left Lotus. Training numbers are still a bit low. I have people in from the UK, Argentina, Dominican Republic, Sweden and Luxembourg, and I'm always kept busy with the technical support for the after sales operation. Now the Geely takeover starts to take effect, and in June of this year, like 2018, Jean-Marc Galles resigns for personal reasons. Well, I can tell you at the factory a lot of people breathe a sigh of relief. And in October of this year we have a new CEO, a gentleman called Phil Popham. He came from Sunseeker Boats, but previous to that he'd spent many years at Jaguar Land Rover. Now there's definitely more money in the company. This year I'm asked by the head of after sales, Colin Chandler, what my wish list would be to provide really good training. Well, I must say the list is very long. For a start, I want an Elise, I want an Exige, I want an Evora, I want some good video making equipment, and I also want a stripped out Evora that I can use for electrical training. These requests are submitted to the senior management, and to my happy surprise it's signed off. It looks like at last I'm getting somewhere. Of course, with all these new resources and equipment, I have to formulate a plan to take training into the future. I speak to production and commission the production of what I would call the Evora, which is basically a complete running Evora but with no body panels whatsoever, but all the electrical components are fitted, the engine runs, it's a complete car but it's naked. And in December of this year I collect my 3 cars. Yes, I've now got an Elise, an Exige and an Evora to use for training and technical support as well. I'm a very happy man. And we end 2018 with the usual run of limited editions and different models that come out of Hethel this year. Hi and welcome to 2019. Right, so this year, training a bit slack this year. I have some dealer techs in from the UK and Europe, and in January I have the Lotus technical manager from Lotus Cars China. He's here for a 2-week intensive course on all things Lotus. Also this year I received from production my Evora. Now I get it from production, all the components that should be fitted into the body, such as the electric window winders, the speakers, stuff like that, is all just shoved in a box in the car. Once I get it down to long water, I then start fitting all these parts onto the bare chassis, making up brackets to fit them where I need to. The only thing that I didn't actually fit was the heated rear window. Big lump of glass that's got electrics in it, don't need that. But once it's complete, I then have an absolutely brilliant training aid for electrical and diagnostic training. I can build faults into it, the technicians can try to find them, but everything is accessible and easy to get to. It was going to prove to be a brilliant tool. Now, to drag Lotus into the 21st century as regards training, I need an online learning management system. Once I have this, I can communicate with all the dealers globally and provide instructional videos, training videos, forums, everything that we need to communicate with each other globally. and this will save them having to come to the UK for training. Obviously face-to-face training will still take place, but with the online platform I can offer so much more. Now I have a meeting with a company called Lotus. They provide online platform or LMSs for Aston Martin and McLaren, to name just a few. So I work alongside the IT department and we choose these as a supplier for the LMS. It goes through finance, it goes through IT, and finally it's signed off. I now have my LMS, which should go live hopefully early 2020. Okay, so this is going to make a lot of work for me, making videos, stuff like that. So I'm told I need an assistant, which I'm quite happy with because it is going to get very busy. Now I interviewed several people, and one of those people is a guy called Kevin Bone. Now I worked with Kevin back at Cat Hall in the days of the VX220, where he assisted Fred Warren on the bodywork training course. So Kev gets the job. It's really good because I know Kev really well. He's got a wealth of knowledge, 20 years experience of Lotus, especially in body and paint repair. So he's going to be a useful asset to me for us to provide really good in-depth training. In May, After Sales has a director appointed. We already have a head of After Sales. Now we have a director. It seems to be a trend at the moment since Geely took over that we keep appointing directors for this, that and the other, and where there wasn't directors before. If it carries on like this, Lotus will soon have more directors than Hollywood. So now we have the equipment, we start putting together some trial videos for training things. Just basic things we're putting together. One was a wiper motor replacement on the Aurora 400. Another one was called Tony's Top Technical Tips. This is a feature that I wanted to put on the online platform so that we could give tips to technicians out there in the dealer network on the best way to do things. And that's it. Wiper motor replacement on an Aurora 400. Not too bad a task as long as you have a ball end Allen key. That will make life so much simpler. That's all for me now. Until the next time, goodbye. Hi, and welcome to Tony's Top Technical Tips. These short videos are to instruct you and make your life a little bit easier on some of the jobs you will need to perform on Lotus Cars. We enjoyed making these videos. I'm not a professional video maker, but I'm learning very quickly. And probably one of the hardest and most time-consuming things to do on producing the video is the actual editing. But I'm getting to grips with it. Something else I'm investigating is the use of virtual reality and augmented reality. Now this can be used to remotely engage with technicians or dealer staff throughout the world. One of those products is provided by a company called PTC. It's called Vuforia Chalk. Now this is a clever bit of kit. Say I have a dealer technician in Scotland who's having a problem with a car. It's hard to explain in words over the telephone or by email what we're actually trying to achieve. So with this bit of kit, we connect via our mobile devices, we point the cameras, he points the camera at the area he's looking at, and I can see a live picture of that. Now if he's looking for something, I just draw a little circle on it and it will come up on his screen exactly the same time. So I can tell him exactly where to look for what he's looking for. Now once his circle's drawn on there, it stays tethered to that spot, so he can move his phone about as much as he likes. That will stay tethered on the exact spot that it was put on in the first place. It's a really clever bit of kit, and it could prove very handy for training and also for technical support. Also happening in 2019, we choose to go with a different diagnostic supplier for all cars with Toyota engines. Now previously this has been supported by a product called Tech Center, which was given to us, or sorry, we bought it off them, a company called Omitech. The company we're engaging with now is called Summit Solutions. Now Summit Solutions was formed by a lot of guys that broke away from Continental who bought Omitech. They now have their own online diagnostic platform, and we engage with them, and I provide technical support to get this into the dealer network. Something else we're trying to get signed off by senior management is a digital instrument pack for the Elise and Exige. We engaged with a company called AIM Technologies, run by a guy called Stephen Lake. Now, I help Stephen Lake and his guys with any technical problems they may have with the cars. He supplied the kit and we fitted it to our training Elise as a demonstration. I then took it to the factory for senior management to look at it to see whether it was a worthwhile investment. They agreed and this became available through the Lotus dealer network. So it was an authorised part to fit in your Elise and Exige. In the autumn of this year, we hold a UK dealer conference down at Carrow Road, home of the Norwich City Football Club, the Canaries. Here we announce our plans for after sales going on in the future, and I stand up and present my plan for training going on into the future using the online platform, augmented reality and stuff like that. Now, I speak with a lot of the dealers at the dinner after, and they're all pretty keen and enthusiastic to get on board with this. So 2019 is going pretty well. I'm doing a lot of work with the videos, stuff for the LMS, also helping out with the instrument pack and the diagnostics. In December, our after sales director calls a meeting down at Longwater. Now he turns up with the head of after sales. Kevin sadly isn't present because he's off work following surgery on his shoulder. I must say the director seemed a little bit grumpy and things didn't go too well. He's basically not very happy with the amount of training that I've provided this year to the dealer network. I do point out that I've been busy with other projects and technical support, but he doesn't seem too happy with this. I do point out once we get the online management system, we can then start putting stuff out to the dealers and we can start charging them a training levy, so the costs will be recovered. It is at this point he drops a bombshell. I won't be getting the online learning management system, and I have to provide training free of charge to the dealer network. So I've just gone from being a small profit organisation to a cost. I wasn't very happy about it. It then charges me to create something that will come out in 2020 for the dealer network. It will be face-to-face training. There will be no online stuff. It will be held down at Longwater. So I work hard over Christmas to put something together to offer to him and present to him in January the following year. Got to say, I was a bit shell-shocked by it all, but just have to bite the bullet, get on with it and get it ready for January 2020. And as usual, we'll round off 2019 with the limited editions and different models that were coming out of Hethel this year. So here we are, 2020. Obviously 2020 starts with my presentation to the after sales director of my new scheme for training. What I've come up with is not pure training, it's a technician accreditation scheme. This way we can assess all the skills of the technicians within the dealer network and identify any skills deficits that we need to promote and make training for. This goes down quite well. The after sales director accepts this and approves it, and I now start work on this. I produce a promotional video for this, and this is shown at a UK dealer meeting early on in the year. I produce a bulletin that goes out to the dealer network, and the scheme will go live on April the 1st. I send a survey out to all the dealer technicians within the UK network so we can do a training needs assessment. That way I know what training they've already had, what courses they've been on, and where we need to target the training. Also design a new course completion certificate that matches the new Lotus corporate identity. In early February, I've won a technical manager from our new dealer in Singapore for a crash course introduction to all things Lotus. Shortly after that, we have some UK dealer staff in for training, and little did I know then that they would be the last course that I ever run at Lotus. So all in all, 2020 is shaping up to be a pretty busy year. March 2020, everything grinds to a halt because of the coronavirus pandemic. We're required to stay at home, and we are put on furlough from March until May. After the furlough period is finished, I start working from home like so many other people. I'm answering technical questions from the dealer network and from customers globally. I also start working on video storyboards to be used in the technical training that will be coming up later on in the year. Now during this time, the plans for a Lotus Retail Training Academy begins to gather momentum, and a head of this department is appointed. I was to have very little contact with her as I'm on furlough for most of the time, but I am contacted after I'm on furlough and we have a chat what training will look like in the future. Both Kevin and I will return to Longwater on the 15th of June, where we'll start producing the videos for the training, particularly for the fitting of the AIM instrument pack on the Elysian Exige. We can use our training cars to do a really good instructional video for the dealer network to show how it should be done. We'll also be producing the video on the use of the Lotus 2020 diagnostic system. Both of us are looking forward to this, so we can get in there and crack on with making these videos. However, events take a slightly different turn. We're asked to attend a Teams meeting with the head of the Retail Academy on June the 9th. Here we are told that both Kevin and I will be transferred from after sales to the Retail Academy, and with immediate effect the next day, both Kevin and I are placed on furlough again. Now we found this rather strange. As we was going to go into Longwater and produce these videos, we'll now be sitting at home for about 3 weeks doing absolutely nothing. I just wonder why we was prematurely transferred from after sales to the Retail Academy by the after sales director. Got to say, both Kevin and I was a little bit pissed off about this because we had a lot of work to do for after sales. On the 3rd of July, we're asked by the head of the Retail Academy to attend a Teams meeting for a catch-up. At last we thought maybe we're going to get some news as to what we'd be doing. We're shown a presentation that details the structure of the Retail Academy and the staff that will be needed, many of the managerial roles, and the estimated figures that will be going through it. We then come to a slide that shows the proposed structure. Now this is technical program manager, instructional designer, etc, etc. And in a little drop down box there's my role and Kevin's role in red, and underneath roles at risk of redundancy. Well, this was a bit of a shock. Then the next slide was presented. Kevin said, well, hold on a moment, can we go back to the previous slide? Which she did, and then we said, what is that about roles at risk of redundancy? She then goes on to explain that our roles will no longer be relevant within the new Retail Training Academy. Well, didn't see that coming. I do ask the question, so if we're made redundant, who will be providing training for the dealer network as it stands at the moment until you actually appoint someone and get the Retail Academy up and running? Never really did get a clear answer on this. I also asked why our roles have been identified as at risk of redundancy. The reason given, because we can't do face-to-face training and much of the training will be outsourced. So the redundancy consultation begins. I noticed one of the jobs, technical program manager, on the new structure of the academy, and I applied to this job with the head of the Retail Academy. I interview on 27th of July for that. I think the interview goes quite well. On the 29th of July, I'm rejected for the role. I then apply for the role of supervisor on the Evora production line. The interview went quite well again, and the same outcome was rejection. I lodged an appeal against the redundancy. I'm appointed an appeal manager who will look into the relevance of this redundancy. The process goes on. I have the backing of the chair of the staff council. I even emailed the CEO, and he expresses his support that we should not lose my experience to the company. However, on the 28th of September, I'm told that my appeal has been rejected and I am now redundant. Well, that's it really. I've done all I can do, and after 32 years service at Lotus, at 64 years of age, I'm now out of a job in the middle of a global pandemic. The future doesn't look very bright at this moment. I do apply for a further 3 jobs at Lotus because I've been there for 32 years. I'd quite like to stay there. I apply for a job in engine build on the production line. I say engine build, it's engine dress really, because the engine's already built by Toyota. I get rejected for that. I then apply for a position within the after sales area as dealer liaison parts. Get rejected for that. Another after sales role, after sales customer services assistant. Get rejected for that. By now I've given up ever getting back to Lotus, and I'm now working for Tesco's as a delivery driver. I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm also having more time to present and produce the Lotus Guru. So that's it. That's my 32-year journey at Lotus Cars. Obviously my journey within the company is finished. There's so much I'd like to share with you if I can help you, present things for your entertainment, and basically anything Lotus. I love the brand, I always have done, and I will continue to do so. So until we see the next feature from the Lotus Guru, which will probably be the Evora story, I hope you all take care, stay safe, and together we can all get through this. So long.